We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Along with Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkamp. Phillies go down to Toronto 2-1. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Phillies now 37-24 on the season as they play their 61st game of the season. And we're going to take a look at the Brandon Marsh play a little bit later on. But to be sure, when you lose 2-1, when you're a guy, when you're rookie, Mick Abel is pitching his butt off the way he did, you got to make the catch. Period, end of story. He won't be charged with an error. They never are anymore. But Brandon Marsh in the 6th inning off the bat of Bo Bichette, as you'll see, you got to make that catch. Maybe they're still playing, if not winning outright. It changes the dynamic of the game. Opening thoughts, Ben, on this?
Well, opening thoughts is I really like the way Mick Abel threw the baseball. And, you know, obviously Nick Castellanos with the home run in the 2nd inning. Really, that's all the offense the Phillies had tonight. Just 5 hits on the evening, really, for both teams. Each had 5 hits. But the offense was stagnant tonight. And now you have your starting catcher go down there in that 9th inning. Hopefully he's okay. It is the big leagues. The ball should be caught in that situation. I'm sure Brandon will be the one to say, yeah, I got to make that play.
Yeah, in hockey they call it giving up the body. The Stanley Cup Finals have begun. Edmonton against Florida, and they call it giving up the body. That's what you got to do. You got to sacrifice yourself a little bit. You're making $3 million a year. You're playing center field in the major leagues. You're a major league ball player. Make the catch. Okay, I'm done. I won't talk about it more than 5 more times, I promise you.
That's it?
Okay, 6 more times. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see a team, especially with a young arm like Mick Abel, and we'll show you some of what he did tonight. He is very special. This has happened to you in your career. I think only once you said, did you have to leave the game? The fact that he had to leave the game, that's a little concerning. Don't you normally shake it off if you can?
It's very concerning. And you're talking about a guy whose pain tolerance is through the roof. I mean, this guy was an all-world wrestler, a quarterback who was going to go to Oklahoma State to play quarterback. And he's back there every day. He wants to be in there every day. For him to show that kind of hurt, you know that this man is in a lot of pain right now. But again, hopefully there's, you know, I don't want to get too graphic, but hopefully they get this taken care of and figure out that, hey, everything's going to be okay. You just have to wait for that pain to subside.
And then if you're Rafael Marchand, are you ready to go at that point in the game?
100%. These guys are ready. The guys that are on the bench, they're ready from the 5th inning on. Whether if they have to go in for defensively or whether they have to go in and pinch hit, these guys are ready to rock and roll, knowing the situations, who they might pinch hit for, who they might go into for and be a defensive replacement. I'm sure his arm was loose, but that situation with Marchand, as I said before, Romano is so slow to home plate. You could have a howitzer attached to your shoulder. You're not going to get Vladimir Guerrero out at second base there. It's something that closers especially, they have it in their mind that they would rather deliver a good pitch to home plate and not be rushed by the runner where they have to quicken up their delivery. Sometimes they do that where they go into a slide step and they end up leaving the ball up in the strike zone. So I'd rather be more accurate and make a good quality pitch than speed up my delivery. Well, it hurt him tonight.
All right, let's get to the star of the show. Unfortunately, the star doled a little bit, not his performance. 5 1/3 innings pitched for Mick Abel. 3 hits allowed, an earned run, which should not be on that score sheet. 2 strikeouts, no walks, and 78 pitches. Would you have left him in even after the hit?
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing. This all comes down to the 3rd time through the lineup and how guys deal with that. I'm under the impression, or how do you know if a guy can get through the 3rd time through a lineup if you don't let him? And the guy only had 78 pitches. And you said his year high was 98 in AAA earlier this year.
That's right.
That's 20 pitches from now.
How about this? He's 2 outs shy from sharing that record with Niles Jordan and Earl Caldwell from 1928 and 1951. Consecutive scoreless innings to begin a major league career. Phillies starters. He's also the first major league pitcher in the modern era with 5 or more innings pitched, no walks, and 1 or fewer runs allowed in each of his first 2 starts. Yeah. That's saying something. That's special.
It is special. And what else I like about him is his mound presence, his composure out there. It looks like no moment is too big for him. And this is a big moment, obviously. It's something he's dreamt about his entire life. It's something he's worked forward to being a big league pitcher his entire life. And he's being given the opportunity to do so. And it looks like he's taking full advantage. But his presence out there, it's just another walk in the park, and he's just going out there and attacking accordingly. He's taking those deep breaths to calm him down a little bit, and he's commanding the baseball right now.
What is his game? What is his strategy when you say he's a blank kind of pitcher? What would you say about Mick Abel?
Well, I think he's, first of all, a power pitcher. Obviously, that fastball exploding 97, 98. And then he's a strikeout pitcher as well. I know he had a couple tonight, but that breaking ball plays, and it's, it could have been a little different too. That roof was closed, maybe didn't have the same feel for that pitch tonight. So, but I would say I think this guy has a chance to be a dominant guy because of the stuff. And not only stuff, it's the way he's commanding the baseball right now. And he's got enough to throw it by you, and he's got enough to get you out in front with that good breaking ball. And he's been impressive, very impressive. He's really brought that down. He had really one or two bad outings throughout the course of the year, but he has been very dependable and reliable for Rob Thomson and the staff. This guy, he's not only just a righty specialist, because with that good hard sinker, he get lefties out with it, and also back foot that slider like he just did to Barger. This guy's got wipeout stuff.
To the clubhouse we go, and we check in with manager Rob Thomson about tonight's 2-1 loss.
He's getting checked by a doctor right now, so it's a pretty good one. He said he's had worse, but we'll see. We'll check him out tomorrow.
Did he say anything about it in terms of just what he was feeling or the play itself?
Well, I mean, he's hurt.
Yeah.
It hurts. I was a catcher.
Sorry.
Okay.
Romano has had trouble holding runners all year. Is there anything you guys can do about that? Obviously, the Blue Jays know him well.
Yeah. He's sped up a little bit as far as times to the plate, so he's improved a little bit, but it's still, we have a ways to go here.
Is that something you think he can get better on?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
That at bat, it seemed like he, it was a tough at bat. Kirk fouled off quite
Yeah,
a
and
bit there.
I thought Romano's stuff was really good tonight. I really did. He gives up the ground ball up the middle to Vladdy, and then really they were trying to go above the barrel on Kirk, and he just left it in the zone, and he barreled it up. So, but I thought his stuff was good.
Abel cruised, obviously, the first 5.
Yeah.
Do you think he got a little fatigued in the 6th inning?
It looked like it, yeah. Just as the inning wore on a little bit, but he was fantastic. I mean, first pitch strikes, strike to ball ratio, the curveball was really good. No walks. Poise was outstanding. I thought he was really good.
This is like maybe only his second or third time pitching on his 5th day.
Yeah.
I think that maybe factored into it.
Probably did, yeah.
How much was that 5th inning a missed opportunity for you guys? You guys had.
Yeah, I thought we were going to score there. Bases loaded, 1 out. Your 1 and 2 guys coming out. Stoddy had a good at bat. It's just long at bat, but he just popped the ball up.
You did Wilson for March there against lefties. That's something you think you'll do maybe more often if the situation presents.
If the situation presents itself.
And, what do you think it is about Abel like that? I mean, it's rare to see a guy come up. Not that he's had command problems in the minors, but he hasn't had the best command at times, and 0 walks in his first 2 major league starts. I mean, what do you kind of chalk that up to?
Well, I think it's kind of clicked for him. He's been around now for a few years, and I think he's learned a lot, and he's confident in his stuff, and he understands now to attack hitters and trust his stuff, and that goes a long way.
Will you guys get stubs here? Like, is that
I don't know.
a point of concern?
I don't know.
Okay.
Obviously, with JT being down as long as he was, I presume he was trying to sort of stay in the game. Is that fair to say? He wanted to.
Yeah,
He
he always wants to stay in the game.
Was it your decision ultimately to
Sure.
Yeah.
With Mick, I know you had said, before the game that we'll kind of see how he does with Noel's situation, like that sort of thing. Is this an opportunity now where he can maybe stick around for another start, or is that?
Oh, he's going to be sticking around. Yeah.
JT didn't go to the hospital, right? He's still
No.
Yeah, he takes the ball every 5th day, that's for sure. And you look at the box score here, and he's been in 13 ball games this year, Barrios, and he has a 2-2 record. He only has 4 decisions in 13 ball games. That is incredible.
Got to get him runs too, his team. Unfortunately, they do tonight. That's inside the box score. And as Ben said, top 3 for the Phillies, 0 for 12. top 4 for the Phillies, 1 for 16, and that's a frustration. I don't care who's pitching. You got to get on the board with the top of your lineup, and it was a struggle.
Isn't it funny about baseball? I mean, it really is the box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get. They go out last night. I know he's a different pitcher than Bowden Francis, who gave up 6 runs in that first inning, but Phillies came out like gangbusters last night in that first inning, put up a 6th spot, and just kind of let Christopher Sanchez just go with it. But tonight it was a grind. Only the 1 run across in the second inning by Nick Castellanos, who hit a ball out to right center, 391 feet, and that was it for the Phillies. Just 5 hits total for each team tonight.
And then 3 more foul balls before the single goes out.
Yeah, Nate. So one thing I would like to see maybe Marchand do is try and be maybe a little bit more demonstrative with that target. He kind of just showed it there for a second, and then he kind of brought it down again. If you really want it up that high, be a little bit more demonstrative with that target at the top of the zone. Say, hey, man, I want it here. If we miss, we're going to miss here or above. We can't miss down on the top of the plate, and that's where they missed, and Kirk made them pay.
All right, we're going to get back to Mick Abel. And again, as we told you earlier, he is the first major league pitcher in the modern era, which means going back to 1901, with 5 or more innings pitched, no walks, and 1 or fewer runs allowed in each of his first 2 starts. No one's ever done that.
Amazing.
It is amazing as a rookie pitcher. Here's Mick Abel postgame in the clubhouse.
You're able to hold on for 5 1/3.
Yeah, I'm definitely proud of how I was able to hold up. It was a little funky travel yesterday, but outside of that, just got to treat it like normal.
Was that you pitched on the day earlier this year once? Is that the only other time you've done it?
Recently, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Were you surprised when you got the call that you're coming back up so soon?
I think a little bit, yeah. I mean, I feel like at that level, you always got to stay prepared for it. So I think mentally, I was prepared for it. Just making sure I was doing everything I could every day to stay ready for it. So.
What did you like about your outing today?
What was that?
What did you like about your outing today?
I think with not really, I wouldn't say I had my greatest stuff today. I didn't have my A+ stuff today. So I think throwing as long as I did and feeling how I did, I think I did a pretty good job.
You have not walked the batter yet in the major leagues. What do you think has allowed you to have kind of conviction and command in your stuff against these top-notch hitters?
I think it's just trying to go out there and win. It's the most important thing, and I mean, I don't know if it's really a mentality shift or what, but I think that I felt good. So
this time, the message I guess is a little different. It's like you're not coming up here for just one start. How much I guess maybe does that give you a little? I don't know. What's the change in mindset? Maybe knowing that you've got maybe a little bit of a run here.
I don't know. I think it's the same thing. My job is to go out there and pitch every 5th day, and if that changes, that changes. I mean, I'm going to do the same thing every day throughout the week in order to prepare for those starts. And mentally, I think I'm in a really good spot right now. So just not trying to ride the highs too high or really lull in the lulls. It's just trying to stay neutral the whole time. So.
When you say not your greatest stuff, was there a certain pitch that you didn't feel like was right coming out of your hand or anything like that?
Yeah, I think I left some curveballs up tonight. Wasn't really bouncing them how I wanted to off the dirt. Leverage counts, but
I imagine you were in here when it happened, but like how tough is it to see JT, go down like that? That kind of tough ball.
I mean, that's something you never want to see. I mean, I don't really know how it feels, but I can imagine it's extremely painful. So, yeah.